Welcome back. Bog, are you back to go fishing? What's going on, my homies? We're about to go fishing. We are at beautiful Lake Lanier. You can see it right down there. We actually just stopped at Hammond's Fishing Center, said hello to Tim. Bought too many lures as usual, but today's video, what we're gonna do is we're gonna actually talk about some fall fishing. I don't know if the leaves are totally down here. They're starting to turn kind of like orangey and that, but fall is here. And it means cooler water, cooler temperatures, and the fish, at least in the southeast, can behave a little weird. And some of the baits that you use in that can be a little weird because you got like little tiny bait, but then you got really big bait and stuff like that. There's a lot of different stuff going on, and but it can be like super fruitful. Like there's a lot of schooling fish. There's a lot of fun things you can do in fall. It's kind of like a weird version of spring, in my opinion. But we're gonna go out. Everybody say welcome back to Bog. Hi, old Bog. Say hello, Bog. You are actually the star of this video. So we'll talk baits, we'll talk techniques, we'll go fishing, we'll hang out with Bog. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. Let's go. See how the leaves are all up on the grass right there? That's where the water level was. It's finally peaked out and it's coming down, but it's gonna make it a little bit weird because that high water spreads fish out. It's just something that happens, but who knows? We might go fish out a little bit later. Oh dude, they're schooling right there. I think that's the kind of stuff we're looking for. That's right on the tip of a point right there. You can see it on the sea map. Everything's changed in the past week with the water coming up. Oh, that's kind of cool. This is a road bed right here coming up. See how it dips down and pops up? It's right on there. But basically, I'm trying a bunch of things. It's fall. There should be a topwater style bite, a swimbait bite, maybe even like a buzz bait, underspin kind of bite. It's really about bait and herring in this case, shad maybe too. But in the southeast, it's really about shad. It's about all those little swimmers, you know? I'm really gonna use my graph to start looking where that bait is and where I see some fish. I may not be able to catch those fish, but at least I can kind of get a depth range and kind of understand how they're set up on some of the stuff that I'm seeing. There we go. Little guy, put on a little swim bait. I threw the top water at him quite a few times, and then they just wouldn't react. So I picked up the swim bait. We're just fishing over a brush pile. Nice little spot. Ate it pretty good too. The bite's tough, and I don't know if it's the water coming up. There's a front that went through. Everything's against me, dude. I'm always like 1 week late. Like 1 week ago, I guess I was showing off. But it is what it is. You got to fish in conditions. And I'm struggling to kind of find fish and kind of put something together. And one thing that I like to do, so let me kind of frame up what I did. So I got, like I said, a little bit of brush, a point out there. I threw a topwater over it. And basically my second go-to is it's a little 1/4 ounce swim bait. That's a Kitech. You can use basically whatever you want, but that's a 1/4 ounce. I think it's a Scottsboro head. It's a little screw lock head. It's a little light to be fishing out this deep, but the trick is I'm letting it sink all the way to the bottom. It's kind of torturous, and then reeling it, because what happens with these spotted bass and even the largemouth in fall is they get up in the water column. Bug, you're butt bumping the camera. But they get up in the water column because the bait, shad kind of like suspend and they swim around. They'll suspend off the tip of a brush pile, off the tip of a tree fall. And so the fish are there as well. So having something that you can cover that middle weird kind of water column with is important. I got it on a 610. I think that's a Halo KS2 Elite. It's a medium. It's a super light rod. And then when you're doing that stuff, I recommend, I got braid on there. That's I think 14-pound braid to an 8-pound fluorocarbon leader. I could actually feel that fish like swoosh on it. Like I felt them kind of take it in, and I just pulled back, and that braid with the no stretch allows me to set the hook, even in this deep of water, pretty easily. There we go. That feels like a big one. Just sucked it up. I almost felt them behind it. That's a better one. That's a main lake spot, gentlemen. That's a big dude. Oh yeah. All right, Mike, let's not lose this one. How's that sound? God, that's a big spot. Gotta get the net. Thank God I got a net. And that's what spots do. They go buzz buzz. You like this bog? Is this exciting? This is exciting, isn't it? Look out, bog. Get. I gotta get her in the net, bog. Look out, bog. Bog, you're not helping. Got her. Dude, that is a giant spot. Look out, bog. That's a giant spot. There might be more down there. Look at that thing, dude. Look at that thing. That is literally what I came here for, to catch a big spot. Like, this is a chunk, dude. I just put it on the scale. It's 4.03, I think it is. So we're gonna get this thing released. Caught it on a little swim bait. We're gonna talk some baits and techniques in a minute. But dude, these jokers pull, and I think there might be a few more out there. They were up in the water column. We're in about 25 feet. Let me show you on the graph real quick. We're on a point, there's a little bit of a brush pile. I was actually throwing up over the brush pile to the side, but 25 feet of water on a 1/4 ounce head, and I'd let it sink down and slow really quick. Let's get her back, bog. What do you say? Are you happy to be back? Dude, that is a Mondo spot, gentlemen. Mondo spot. Look at that. Lake Lanier has fun ones. Go talk to Tim at Hammond's. All right, let's get her back. Dude, you're just beautiful. Went under the boat, little camera shot. It is what it is. So let's take a second to talk some fall basics. Everything is going to depend where you are. I can't tell you exactly what to throw where you are. You know your lakes better than I do. But the general rule when it comes to fall, especially in the southeast, or if you have shad in a body of water, is you want shad mimicking baits. The shad are making a migration to the backs of the creeks, and they don't always get all the way back. You know, today is a good example where we're catching them kind of moving back on transition points, transition humps. So they're getting off the main lake, but they're making their way back. But what kind of baits do you want to pick up when it's like that? Well, it's pretty simple. Like, mimic the friggin' forage, dude. You know, I got a topwater, definitely a go-to. This is Lucky Cruff. It's not a pointer, I forget what it's called, but I love that thing. I got a little smaller version too. I do throw my topwaters on 40-pound braid. It gives me a bunch of castability, as well as the fact that that no stretch, when they blow up on it, you got to wait for them to eat it, but that no stretch really leads to really good hookups. And I use some bigger hooks on there. You can see they're old Florida gaffs. Have some kind of blade bait. That's a underspin. That's a minnow. It's a gambler minnow. Spinnerbait works. Underspin. Just have a blade bait. Tail spin. All those kinds of things. You really want to think about how big the forage is. One of the biggest challenges we run into, at least for me on the TVA, is the shad, like during the fall or part of the fall, are like that big. And these fish are super focused on these tiny little things. And it makes them really hard to catch. The bass, they don't even look at like bigger baits. Usually, there are exceptions to that. Fluke is another great thing. We got actually a double donkey rig right here. This is a double fluke rig, but a fluke on spinning tackle or a bait caster. I like throwing this on braid as well. And if I'm throwing it on a spinning reel, I'll have braid to a fluorocarbon leader. This double donkey rig allows me to run little swivels like that, so I can just run the braid to a swivel. What else do we got here? I'm on Lanier, so you gotta have a Seville swimmer, just like that guy. It's basically a blueback herring imitator. So moving over here, you guys have seen my micro swim bait deal. I love that. Smith Lake, it seems like it works on Lanier. Got a little shaky head. That's more of a spotted bass deal. I also have a Ned. Be perfectly frank, I don't catch many fish on a Ned in fall, but I like having it on there if I want to skip like a little dock, or like say we're up on the bank and there's that tree, if I want to flick it in there.
I don't catch a lot, but every once in a while I'll catch a good one. And it's such a versatile bait for me that I like having it on deck no matter what, because I can do so much with it. And even if I don't get bit, one of the things I found on these spotted bass lakes is they'll really follow a net in. So say like I flick it out on a point and drag it in or something like that. When I'm reeling it in, sometimes I'll have like 2 2-pounders chase it in. And that tells me, hey dude, like this is your confidence bait. It doesn't work, but there are fish down there, and you throw something that moves, something that swims. So moving to the back of the boat right here, see I do have a spinnerbait on right there. A-rig. I mean, I don't even need to say anything about that. You guys know an A-rig is a super standard bait in the fall. And then I got myself a bull shad. So the bull shad's kind of the weird exception to the rule. My buddy Jacob Wall taught me something, and he's big into swim baits. He's from California. Go check him out. He's got a YouTube channel. He whittles swim baits and all this stuff. But he taught me something about burning a bull shad. It works on spotted bass, it works on largemouth. Even though they're keyed in on these tiny baits, sometimes like a super duper reaction fast, because there's still big gizzard shad swimming around, but you just slang it out there and you burn it. Wow, there's about this bait right here. Oh, look at him go, look at him go. Oh, there are a bunch of, there's like 20 or 30 like little spots, like micro spots, dude, chasing a whole ball of herring. I don't know why I'm shooting this part of the video, but so, I mean, that's a great illustration. They're chasing bait, dude. That's probably like 20 foot of water, 25 foot of water, and they're on the surface chasing bait. And I know those are spots, but at the same time, the largemouth kind of do it too, maybe a hair shallower. But those are all some baits to take into consideration. A few things that I don't have on deck: square bill. Great option, or a DT6 or something like that. The other one too is a spy bait. I've been playing around a lot with it, and there's 2 different ways that I've been fishing a spy bait: either burning it super duper fast and mimic those little shad and stuff like that, or super slow rolling it and just almost fishing it like a swim bait. But those are some options. I'm sure there's some other things that you can kind of mix in. Oh, a drop shot too, wacky rigged with like a little shaky shad on it or something that mimics like bait or minnows or something like that. It's another kind of cool option. But those are some options, and you got to kind of play through them. When I'm fishing these brush piles and these points that I'm fishing on Lanier today, I'm cycling through baits. You know, I'll throw a topwater over it. I'll throw the fluke. I'll throw the swim bait. I'll drag it with a shaky head, and then I'll kind of dip. You know, I'm trying to move kind of quick on some of these points and isolated structures, because there's a ton of fish in this lake, and they're gonna be somewhere and they're gonna eat, even if I see them on the graph and I can't catch them. So I hope that helps you out. If you got any fall baits that you recommend, drop them down in the comments box. Let's get back to fishing. The brush pile's actually right here. I'm throwing my little swim bait to the left of the brush pile and just letting it sink all the way to the bottom. And that way I'm not getting hung on the brush pile, but I'm getting that bait, even though it's super light, all the way to the bottom. Let's see if we get super lucky again. Nope, not super lucky. But then I'm just kind of slow reeling it in, and every once in a while I might like let it sink back to the bottom or give it a little pop just to kind of give it a little English. And it's about as simple as that. It's straight swim bait fishing. Another one. He ate it on the way down. Feels like another big one. Look out, buck. Might not be as big. God, there must be a pot of them because he ate it on the way down. I have no idea how big this fish is, but now he's not letting me do anything. That's another good one. Ain't giant, but oh yeah, there's a pod of them down there, gentlemen. There is a pod of pescados, spotted pescados. That just goes to show, whoa, that's a good one. All right. Oh, she just came right off. That's another nice one. This fish ate it as the bait was actually sinking down. So I'm doing something kind of cool today. I'm doing a little bit of an experiment. Tim at Hammond's runs a really cool tournament during the week, and it involves these guys. So what he does is, instead of stashing your fish in the live well, bringing them all in and weighing them in, he has basically, it's an online style tournament where you weigh your own fish. You gotta shoot a video of the fish being weighed and released, which is super cool. And he has an online system that actually like tabulates that weight. And you guys know me, I used to fish quite a few tournaments, did it a whole bunch, and the one thing I really don't like, and I see it a lot on the lakes that I fish down in Florida, is these guys run these tournaments and they catch these fish out deep. Dude, by the end of the day, they got like 20 dead fish and they're all like 4 or 5 pounders. There's actually a tournament that I saw a live weigh-in for. I'm not gonna mention who it was, but dude, they killed like 20 some fish. Like, and it's just like, dude, these are trophy fisheries and you're killing all these fish. Like, I know you guys want to run derbies, but you can't do this. So it's kind of an interesting thing. I don't know. I mean, we all enjoy like bringing in a big bag and like hanging them up, you know, holding them, taking a picture. But this is kind of a cool way to capture, you know, how big the fish is, capture the experience. It's not the same as going to weigh in and that, but it's a great way to protect the fish and kind of a fun way to do it. So I've been weighing them, testing this process, but we're going to go ahead and get this one released. She's not as big as the other one, but Bog doesn't care, does he? It's just crazy to me how fat these guys are. Like, look how fat that is. I mean, that is so cool. But let's get her back real quick. See you later. Go back down. That is fun. Fall fishing at its finest.
Look at that. That's insanity. Jeez Louise. Guys, we got another big one on. He ate it straight under the boat. I don't know how big he is though. It's a decent one. Just a fat joke. God, it's crazy. There's a whole school of them right under the boat right now. Dude didn't even get it in the face. He got it like right on the nose. Oh, oops, sticking stuff in my finger. That's a big. Dude, that's it's a catfish. What the hell? That was weird, boy. Got you that time, buddy boy, running straight at the boat. Got you that time. I just followed up with a little shaky head. I mean, it's pretty, pretty standard, and missed a couple bites. And they've definitely gotten smaller, so, you know, kind of, I think that swim bait's the deal, though. We talk about bait and fall, and that guy's eating bait. Decided to eat my shaky head. But really, those big ones, they're gonna come on shad looking or herring looking or stuff like that. Kind of, oh, whoa, look at this though. They all came with them. I'm gonna drop it straight back down. I thought he was on there the whole time. And I don't think I got a good hook in him. There's just a whole school of them down there, dude. I got my drag all screwed up. So I lost contact with my shaky head, and I'm like, maybe there's a fish on there, and I kept reeling and reeling. Took her swimming with the whole time.
So what the hell am I doing? I know we're not like smashing them, but with how tough it is, I think I got a little pattern going. So let's talk about it. Basically, we're finding these kind of like softer humps. You can see on my C-map, there's kind of like a softer taper, either to a point or a hump. And I'm scanning them and I'm looking for like 2 or 3 things. One, I'm looking to see if there's any brush on there. 2, I'm looking to see if I see bait or just like suspended fish. And 3, I'm looking to see if it's like covered in wood or barren and there's like one little stick up thing, like isolated cover. And basically, like, I'll mark like 3 or 4 things. This thing probably runs like 500, 600 yards. I'll mark 3 or 4 things, and then I'll swing back around and hit them. That way, like, I'm not driving over it and fishing it. We're always talking about like spooking a pile or spooking the fish. Like, even though these fish are in 20, 30 feet of water, they'll come up from that deep to eat. So they got to be aware of what's on top. So I'm just trying to isolate water. It's a big lake. There's millions of points. There's millions of turns. There's millions of trees. So I'm just trying to stay kind of, I think I'm like mid-lake area. I dropped in at Charleston. So I'm just trying to kind of take a chunk of the lake, pick it apart, apply this pattern, and we're probably going to throw some more topwater in a little bit too, because I think it kind of like warming up. There's a little chop in the water, but it's still kind of, it's flat enough where you can like call them up. So we're going to play around, but right now we're going to run this pattern and see what we can do.
Crushed it. Look out, Buck. Look out. Old Fatty McFatterson, Bog. That's Fatty McFatterson. Fatty McFatterson, boys. That's a hell of a spot. See you later.
I always try to show you the stuff that I'm fishing, especially when it comes to the graph, because I enjoy the graph. I apologize for the motor noise. You're just gonna have to deal. But what I'm gonna do, so we're on a point. You can see right there on my C map, I got it shaded. It's not really two brush piles, there's just a bunch of brush on the point. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna idle over that, and I wanna show you what it looks like on, this is 2D, this is down scan, and this is side scan. So we're coming up on it. You can see the point starting to drop. So we got a whole freaking conglomeration of brush. You can see there's some fish mixed in right there, down on the side. You can see it on the side really good. Isn't that pretty cool? But that one looks really good. Some of them are a little more like snivelly and small. Turn this thing off. But it's the same concept that we're using in Florida, like cloudy brush piles, you know, foggy brush piles, because they're chock full of bait, and bigger. It seems like a little bit bigger brush pile holds more fish. Now, I did catch a big one off of like a smaller, more isolated pile, but I didn't catch a bunch of fish off it. So I don't know what the gist is, but usually you see some bait on it, make a few casts, maybe drag it for a second, and then move on.
That's another big, I think. Oh yeah. Just had to get it down there. It's kind of hard with this 1/4 ounce deal, because you really got to walk it down there. I mean, we're talking about 25 to 30 feet. That's a nice one. Not a giant like the other one, but still just a big old spot. You ate it, buddy. You like that? Nice little 2-pounder. Bonk with swimbait. What are you eating? Anything? Nice fish. Back down. Come here, Bob. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. And Bog fell in. Oh, Nelly. Oh, Nelly. Get out of there. Get out of there. That's a big dude. Stay out of that brush. She went and sucked it up out of the brush. Oh, dude. Oh my gosh. Dude. Dude. Stay button. Come here, come here, come here. Oh my gosh, dude, that's another like 4 and change. Oh, the old shaky head come through. Dude, I was hung in that brush. She got me hung in that brush, and we all got hung in the brush, and we hung out, and then that happened. You like that, Bog?
I like to end things on a high note, because everything other than fishing kind of sucks. Yeah, at least to me. So I just caught up another big one, dude. And like, I know I'm not hammering them on Lanier, but with the conditions, with the rising water, it really made it difficult out here, and anybody would tell you that. But dude, catching these spots in like, I think we're sitting in 27, throwing to trees that are in like 22, I think. With 8-pound test, with a little spinning rod and a shaky head, and then you catch like a 4-pound spot. Yeah, that's cool. That's 2 giants for the day. A bunch of like 1.5 to 2.5 pound chunkers. Mostly the swim bait was the deal, but let's get this one released, dude, and we'll wrap this thing up. This was a fun day. I like this lake. I think I could do pretty well on this lake. Gosh, Bug, you like that? I know you like spotted. That is such an awesome spot. Let's get this joker released. Oh, do not bite his tail, Bog. Bog fell out of the boat today, gentlemen. Thank you guys. That is fun. I mean, I don't know. There's something wrong with you if you don't think that's fun. Thank you guys for watching this video. Get out and do some fall fishing. A lot of guys are hunting. A lot of gals are hunting that would normally be fishing. And it really opens the waters up as things cool down. Bog will come out more, but as things cool down, the fishing gets better and better. It can be a grind sometimes, and you gotta keep in mind the different kinds of baits, different sizes of baits that you need to keep in your arsenal, because there's just a weird keying in on forage, and especially that small like forage this time of year. But whoa, we're about to get waved here. But it's a lot of fun. I love being out here. I love when you guys watch these videos and the nice comments that you drop. If you got any fall fishing tips, drop them down in the comments box. I like this to be a dialogue for everybody to kind of check out, and the comments are probably just as interesting or more interesting than the video. So thank you guys for watching. Tight lines for now. We are out.